greatest lesson in life are learned from children, not from learned men. So here Gandhiji says that the lessons, whatever the greatest lessons, are learned from children and not from learned men. A child will fearlessly try before giving up. As adults fearing failures, we grew up even before we try. A child is inherited curious about the world. Now it's a very good saying by Gandhiji. He says that the child is fearless because he doesn't know what is an achievement, but where the adult is feared of his achievements. He is feared, like whether he may lose. So he is saying we can learn a lot from the children. As adults, our blinkered and conditioned self prevents us from only exploring without prejudice. For children, what she does is meaningful in own right. As an adult, we usually link every action to an external reward of money or recognition. Now here he is saying a good example that children are not fearless. They are fearless. They are free to do everything, whatever they feel like to do. But whereas an adult fears, he fears whether he may lose his money or whether he may lose his recognition in the society. So he restricts himself. But whereas a child is not feared, he can do whatever he likes. So this Gandhiji gives a very good example, saying that we learn from the children and not from the adult, learned adult. I did not learn how to be a father from manuals. Whatever little I learned about being a parent, I learned by observing my children and letting them teach me. Similarly, I think our teachers could grow enormously by learning from their students. Now he again says that I have learned, and whatever little I have learned to be a father, I have learned from seeing my children. And here he says because children imitate, okay, they do whatever they like, they are free to do whatever they are. Now here also he says that the teacher has to learn from the student by absorbing. You learn a lot by observing what a child is, what a child wants to do. We will then refrain from pushing the knowledge down their young minds and begin the democratic process of being joint learning as we discover and understand our world. So what is he saying? He is giving a very good example, and he is saying we are pushing our knowledge down to the young minds. That means that we are also becoming children. We started to observe them, and then when we observe them, we start learning from them. We think, oh, this is the way we have to be, this is the way we ought to be, because children, they are not feared of everything. They observe and they are very innocent. Whatever they learn, they tell. They don't hide anything. They are very innocent. I believe a powerful force from empowerment is to have motivation teachers who are learned first, teachers second. Only then we will stop trying to mold children into our adult likeliness. Only then we will let them blossoms. Now how we become teachers? We are learned. We have a qualification, and then with that qualification everybody can't become a teacher. So with that qualification we become teachers. And now when children are going, we should not burden them. We should give them the freedom to do whatever they want. Then they can mold into whatever you would like them to be. Don't force anything on themselves. Leave it to their independent thinking, so that they have to have interest on what they are doing. When they develop interest in whatever thing they are doing, then they can become a good citizen, or they can become a good student, and then they can do whatever they want to do. Okay. Now, if India has to develop economically, socially, intellectually and culturally, we must empower those most vulnerable to social decades, our children. Let us resolve to give our children the freedom of childhood. Let us change our schools from being textbooks, prisons, to laboratories of explanation. Let us change homes from being tuition centered to playground of art and sports. Now he is saying, how can we end this childhood labor? Now how we have to end? We have to develop economically. If you want our country, if we want our nation, we have to first develop our state, then comes the nation. And how we have to develop it? If you want to develop it economically, socially, intellectually and culturally, we must empower those most vulnerable to social dictators. Vulnerable. Okay, so we should not force them to do anything. We should not force them to do anything. We have to leave them to their freedom. They must be free to do whatever they have to do in their childhood, and you have to free them. Let the change our schools from textbooks, from being textbooks, prisons to laboratories of exploring. Let us change homes from being tuition centers to playgrounds of art and sports. Now it has become a social status in the society to tell, oh, my child has done this, oh, my child has done that. Even they don't look into the interest of the children. They want them to portray themselves as to be great, one of the greatest in the society. Say they want their children to do, even if they don't like them, even if the children don't like. So stop this. Allow a child to be free. Let him or she do whatever he likes. Let him not study. There are many various. It is not only studies which brings a human being. It is also, we have various sports, and we can have a good example nowadays how the students are becoming excellent in sports, in the field of sports, architecture, everything. So you can let them do whatever they interest. And he's saying it should not be a home of tuitions, and they have to leave playground, art and sports. India will be radiant when our children are free to dance in the rain. And he is saying here, radiant is what you want to do. You are free to do whatever you want to do in this free India, and that is when we get our freedom, when a child is free to do whatever he likes to be in the societies. With this, I end the first chapter or the unit 1, dancing in the rain. If you please do like, share and subscribe to my channel if you do like. Thank you.